Welcome, everyone, to the historic Tennessee Theater in downtown Knoxville, Tennessee. It's time for the 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. First, being presented by Class of 2023 Hall of Famer Lindsay Whalen and escorted by Carly Knox and Oliver Knox Reeve, 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, Cheryl Reeve. By Class of 2021 Hall of Famer Carol Cowley and escorted by Alicia Aguilar, 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee Amaya Valdemoro. Being presented by Class of 2024 Hall of Famer Rudy Scoville and escorted by Frida Muhl, 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, Kim Knoll. By Kim Davis, represented by Marvin Dixon, 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, Barbara Kennedy-Dixon. Next, being presented by Class of 2022 Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli, 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, Doris Burke. Now, being presented by Class of 2002 Hall of Famer Marianne Stanley and escorted by Gia Delle Donne, 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee Elena Delle Donne. Being presented by Class of 2018 Hall of Famer Seal Barrett and escorted by Renee Brown. 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, Isabelle Fijalkowski. Finally, being presented by Class of 2018 Hall of Famer, Shamiqua Holtzclaw, and escorted by Layla Williams. 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, Candace Parker.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and welcome to our spectacular, wonderful city of Knoxville. We're so lucky to have you here tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight's celebration is in the hands of one of the most respected and beloved voices in basketball. And for nearly 4 decades, Debbie Antonelli has brought the game to life for fans across the country as an analyst for ESPN and CBS, including the NCAA men's basketball tournament, for more than 30 years, covering the WNBA. And her extraordinary contributions to the sport have earned her the induction into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame, and most recently, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame as the recipient of the prestigious Kurt Gowdy Media Award. A former captain at NC State and 2-time Emmy winner, she's one of the game's greatest storytellers and ambassadors. Debbie has dedicated her career to elevating basketball and the people who make this sport so special. And to put it completely simply, there's absolutely no better person in the world to celebrate all of these incredible legends tonight. Please welcome our host for the 2026 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame induction ceremony, Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli.
All right, let's go. We're gonna have a big night, big night. Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you so much, Amber, for that nice introduction. What an honor it is to serve in this capacity as host of the induction ceremony. I am grateful and blessed to share this evening with all of you. Tonight, we celebrate the induction of the class of 2026, and it is a powerful group made up of winners and leaders. The sport of basketball has given us a chance tonight to reflect, share stories with family, friends, teammates, relive the moments, and advance what's next. Our basketball hearts call us to unite so we can share responsibilities to this game we love as caretakers, stakeholders, and leaders. It's a privilege to be with you again tonight. At this time, I'd like to recognize the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Board of Governors and Board of Trustees. Would you please stand to be recognized? Thanks to each of you for your service and for selecting this excellent class. Now I get the honor to welcome back Hall of Famers attending the ceremony. So when I call your name, please stand and remain standing. From the class of 2000, Patricia Roberts. From the class of 2001, Van Chancellor. From the class of 2001, Holly Warlick. From the class of 2000, Marianne Stanley. From the class of 2008, Debbie Ryan. From the class of 2010, Teresa Edwards. From the class of 2011, Pearl Moore. From the class of 2013, Peggy Gillum Granderson. From the class of 2018, Seal Berry. From the class of 2018, Shamiqua Holsclaw. From the class of 2018, Mickey DeMoss. From the class of 2019, Joan Cronin. From the class of 2019, Val Still. From the class of 2019, Carolyn Bush Roddy. From the class of 2019, Beth Bass. From the class of 2021, Carol Callan. From the class of 2023, Lindsay Whalen. From the class of 2024, Simone Augustus. From the class of 2024, Rooney Scoville. From the class of 2024, Taj McWilliams Franklin. And from the class of 2025, Danielle Donahue. Our next speaker is a champion, entrepreneur, and leader whose career has been dedicated to building and elevating the game of basketball. A point guard on Pat Summitt's 1996 National Championship team and the Final Four Most Outstanding Player, Michelle Marciniak went on to play professionally in the ABL and WNBA before becoming one of the first general managers in NCAA women's basketball. For the past 18 years, Michelle has been the co-founder and former co-CEO of Sheets, helping build a nationally recognized company, raising more than $25 million in capital and securing 53 patents across 24 countries, while becoming a respected business leader and entrepreneur. She served on the board of the Pat Summitt Foundation and co-founded Pedal for Alzheimer's, carrying forward Coach Summitt's legacy through advocacy, awareness, and hope. Michelle is a recipient of the NCAA Silver Anniversary Award, one of the NCAA's highest honors recognizing former student athletes for distinguished professional achievement and community impact. Tonight, she returns to Knoxville as the new CEO of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, entrusted with leading this institution into the next chapter while honoring its remarkable legacy. Please join me in welcoming the new CEO of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, Michelle Marciniak.
Thank you. Wow. I have to say I am truly honored to stand before you tonight as the CEO of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. I am grateful to our Board of Trustees and Governors for entrusting me to lead such a special organization. I want to sincerely thank our staff, interns, volunteers, partners, and everyone who returned an email or picked up my phone call to help make this celebration possible. As I thought about what I wanted to say tonight, I kept coming back to one simple thought. Everyone starts somewhere. Every Hall of Famer we celebrate tonight started somewhere. A driveway, a playground, a local Y, or a community gym. Every Hall of Famer also had someone who believed in them before the rest of the world didn't. A parent, a mentor, teacher, coach, who saw something special in them. The people we honor tonight were not born Hall of Famers. They became Hall of Famers through countless hours of work when no one was watching. They mastered the habits required for sustained excellence. Women's basketball is experiencing unprecedented growth. The game is reaching audiences and levels of visibility that many of us could only imagine when we first picked up a basketball. The Women's Basketball Hall of Fame has an extraordinary opportunity to meet this moment. My vision for the Hall is to become the global home of women's basketball. A place where Hall of Famers remain connected to one another and future generations can learn from the very people who built this game. I want the Hall to be more than just a museum. I want it to be a platform for leadership, storytelling, education, and inspiration for the entire women's basketball community around the world. One of the most special qualities of all of our Hall of Famers is the ability to positively impact the communities that they serve. My commitment is that the Hall can become a resource that helps amplify their voices and expand their impact on the people and causes that matter most to them. Because eventually the trophies collect dust, banners come down, and records are broken. What lasts is the impact we leave on other people, and that impact only grows richer with time. Speaking of impact, I have a story about one of our inductees tonight. For years, people have asked me whether my number is retired at the University of Tennessee. And I proudly say every single time, yes, it is. Now, before you think too highly of me, there's one important detail. Before Candace Parker wore number 3 at Tennessee, I wore number 3 at Tennessee. So technically, my number is retired. It just has Parker on the back and not Marciniak. So Candace, I appreciate you taking care of that for us. To the class of 2026, congratulations, and on behalf of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, thank you for everything you have given to our sport. We are honored to celebrate you tonight, and I am committed to ensuring that your stories continue to inspire generations long after this evening is over. Thank you. And now, before we welcome our class of 2026, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame would like to recognize someone whose impact on our game has been immeasurable. The 2026 For the Love of the Game Award honors those whose contributions extend far beyond wins, championships, or statistics. It recognizes individuals whose dedication has helped preserve the history of women's basketball, celebrate its greatness, and ensure its future. For more than 2 decades, Dana Hart devoted herself to building, nurturing, and advancing this institution. She cultivated relationships and worked tirelessly to ensure that the stories of those who shaped women's basketball would never be forgotten. While many stood in the spotlight, Dana worked behind the scenes with humility, grace, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to serving others. Dana, on behalf of the generations of athletes, coaches, administrators, volunteers, and fans whose stories will continue to be told because of your work, we thank you. And personally, I want to thank you. It does not fall short on me after 2.5 months on this job, how much of your heart you have invested in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. 23 years is a remarkable commitment to anything, let alone an organization whose mission is bigger than any one person. I simply want you to know that we will do our very best to honor the foundation you have laid, protect what you cared so deeply about, and continue moving the Hall forward. Thank you for everything you have done to make the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame what it is today. It is now my honor to present the 2026 For the Love of the Game to our former president and one of the most dedicated stewards in the history of Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, Dana Hart.
Wow, thank you. I am truly honored to accept For the Love of the Game award tonight. Thank you to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame governors and board of trustees, and dedicating my time to women's basketball with your assistance. During my more than 23 years at the Hall, sharing the story of women's basketball has been a true honor and a joy that I have enjoyed throughout my life. We all build on the achievements of those who come before us, both in the women's game and in our own lives. No matter which path we take, we represent those who paved the way and should honor and celebrate them for years to come. I come from a long line of strong women. I have to say, Dad, who's in the audience, going to a private women's college really taught me that, and that is not a slam towards Smith College. So, Kristen, that is a good thing. I am grateful for the dedicated teams and partners I have worked with at the Hall. Your commitment made this journey possible. To all the interns whose careers I have watched grow, thank you for inspiring me. I want to especially thank a few people: Karen Tucker, Jackie Wise, Josh Sullivan, and Ashley Meeks, for your years of support and friendship. I am proud of each of you and the careers you have moved forward with. I am very lucky to have seen the growth, the amazing growth of the women's game, and to know some legends who are no longer with us. Bill Wall, Ewayne Cooley, Harley Redden, and the great Pat Summitt. Many of you have shaped my career and my life, and I am forever grateful for your friendship. Val Ackerman, Carol Stiff, Danielle Donahue, Ann Hansen, and the late Sue Donahoe. And as Sue would say, just one more thing. Thank you, Gloria Ray, for supporting me and sharing your vision for the Hall. I will always appreciate these leaders for their guidance and mentorship in my life. To my three amigos, Lee Plarski, Fran Garman, and the late Betty Jo Graber, I treasure our time together. You truly are one of a kind, and anyone who knows these three ladies, they are truly one of a kind. I have so many wonderful memories. We have worked hard, played hard, and built lasting relationships. Over 23 years, I have welcomed 145 inductees and their families into the Hall of Fame. I will always cherish the stories. Thank you. I will always cherish the stories, the history, and the love that was shared with me. Last year, we created the Changing, Life-Changing, The Legacy exhibit with our friend Keith Rutherford, honoring Pat Summitt and her incredible contribution to the women's game. I can't think of anyone I would rather honor with my final exhibit at the Hall. I was honored to present the first for the Love of the Game Award to Lauren Hill at the NCAA Final Four in Indianapolis in 2016. It was bittersweet to see her parents accept that award for her on the court. This moment is also bittersweet as I look back on my time at the Hall of Fame. Thank you to my parents, Richard and Pat Hicks, for teaching me the values of hard work, commitment, and the importance of remembering your legacy. Your lessons always guide me. To my daughter, Rachel, thank you for understanding with patience while I spent so many years at the Hall. You were in second grade when I started. She's 32 now. And I know the Hall sometimes felt like the sibling you never asked for. I am so proud of the strong woman you have become. My dear Harrison, my 6-month-old grandson, part of my reason for retirement. Thank you for bringing the joy, for all the joy you bring to me. And being your Gigi is absolutely the best. To my husband, Dave, thank you for always being my anchor. Your unwavering support through every challenge made this journey possible. I am blessed to have had you by my side and look forward to continuing this magic carpet ride. Michelle, I couldn't ask for a better person to be chosen to lead the Hall of Fame. You have been a friend of mine for years, and I am excited and confident that the Hall will achieve great things during your tenure. Thank you to the Hall of Fame family for being such an important part of my journey. With gratitude, cheers, and many years to come. Thank you.
But one thing hasn't changed: the impact she continues to have on so many people. When Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, she made a commitment to fight this disease with the same determination that defined her life. Today, that mission continues through the Pat Summitt Foundation as they advance research, support patients and caregivers, and educate communities about Alzheimer's disease. Her influence reaches far beyond basketball, and her legacy continues to make a difference in the lives of families across the country.
Before we continue this evening, we'd like to take a moment to recognize someone whose presence is felt throughout this hall, throughout the game, and throughout the lives of so many people in this room. Tomorrow marks 10 years since the passing of Coach Pat Head Summitt. Coach Summitt's impact on women's basketball cannot be measured solely by her 1,098 wins, 8 national championships, Olympic medals, or countless honors. Her true legacy lives in the generations of players, coaches, administrators, broadcasters, and leaders she has inspired and mentored. She demanded excellence, championed opportunity, and helped elevate women's basketball to heights many once thought impossible. Because of Pat Summitt, this game is stronger. Because of Pat Summitt, this hall exists as a living celebration of the women and men who built and continue to build our sport. 10 years after her passing, her influence remains woven into the fabric of women's basketball and continues to shape its future every day. Beyond the hardwood, her fierce determination lives on through the Pat Summitt Foundation, which she launched in 2011 to confront Alzheimer's disease with the same relentless spirit she brought to the game. By funding research, supporting family caregivers, and establishing the Pat Summitt Clinic, the foundation has transformed her battle into a lasting legacy of hope and care for thousands of families. We invite you now to join us in a moment of silence as in the 10 years of her passing, we honor the life, legacy, and enduring impact of Coach Pat Head Summit. Thank you. The Berenson Award is in recognition of the mother of women's basketball, Senda Berenson. To present tonight's award, please welcome Kristen Hughes from Smith College.
She hung a sign on the door to the gym that read, "No gentlemen allowed." During the game, she signed it herself, and then she watched as 800 women lined up around the building waiting to get in. On the opening tip, the freshman captain dislocated her shoulder. She took the young woman into an office, popped her shoulder back into place, substituted another player for her, and continued on with the game. She prohibited her players from losing their tempers, and she threatened to stop the game if the fans engaged in any form of yelling. So instead, the women sang rival songs and they waved their class colors during the contest. That was the scene in Alumni Gymnasium on the campus of Smith College, where the first women's college basketball game was played in 1893. The sophomores defeated the freshmen 5-4. And the engine behind all of it was a small-statured woman named Senda Berenson. This was a time when women played mostly individual sports like tennis or swimming, so creating a team sport that was considered rigorous in nature was quite challenging. At Smith, there were two major events that happened every year. One was commencement, and the other was the freshman-sophomore interclass game. But the game did not just begin at this time, it took off for women. Marjorie Gain, a student who played on the 1898 team, is quoted as saying, "We talk basketball until we can't see straight." This game was central to the college lives of Smith women. In 1903, Miss Berenson published the basketball rulebook for women, which she would go on to publish for another 20 years. But as much as Senda Berenson promoted basketball as a way to achieve physical activity, she may have been wise well beyond her years in the real value in sport, which still holds true today. In 1903, an article published in the Boston Globe, Miss Berenson is quoted as saying, "Games are invaluable for women and that they bring out, as nothing else, just these elements that women find necessary today in their enlarged field of activities. Basketball is the game, above all others, that has proved the greatest value to them. This game develops physical and moral courage, self-reliance and self-control, the ability to meet success and defeat with dignity." She criticized the traditional image of women as being small-waisted, small-footed, small-brained damsels who found fainting interesting and hysterics fascinating. She challenged attitudes that she knew were holding women back physically and intellectually. So Smith College, which we affectionately call the birthplace, is incredibly proud to be honoring the legacy of Senda Berenson through such an impactful relationship with the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Our mission at Smith is to empower and elevate women. So celebrating tonight's Hall of Fame inductees with the Berenson Trophy sends a significant message to the girls and women across the country about the power of sport. I want to thank the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame for their role in developing this relationship and congratulate all of the incredible inductees this evening. We are very proud to be supporting the evident excellence in this room tonight. Thank you.
Cheryl Reeve has built one of the most remarkable coaching and executive careers in the history of women's basketball, earning recognition as one of the sport's most influential leaders. Her journey began with 4 NCAA tournament appearances as an assistant coach at George Washington University before taking over as head coach of the Minnesota Lynx in 2010. Under her leadership, the Lynx became one of the WNBA's greatest dynasties, capturing 4 WNBA championships and establishing a culture of excellence that has defined the franchise for more than a decade. A 4-time WNBA Coach of the Year, 5-time WNBA All-Star Game Coach, 2-time Associated Press WNBA Coach of the Year, and 2-time WNBA Basketball Executive of the Year, Reeve's impact has extended from the sideline to the front office, where she currently serves as both head coach and president of basketball operations. Internationally, Reeve has been equally dominant. She helped lead USA Basketball to multiple FIBA World Cup and Olympic gold medals as an assistant coach before serving as head coach of the USA Women's National Team from 2021 to 2024, culminating with an Olympic gold medal at the 2024 Olympic Games. In recognition of her extraordinary contributions to the sport, Reeve was inducted into the Minnesota Sports Hall of Fame in 2023. And now to present Cheryl Reeve, please welcome to the stage Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Class of 2023 inductee, Lindsay Whalen.
Well, Debbie did my job. Great job, Debbie. It is truly an honor to introduce someone who has had a profound impact on my life, both personally and professionally. As the Hall of Famer and the great Debbie Antonelli mentioned earlier this evening, I am a member of the class of the 2023 Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. And thank you. And I can say without a doubt, I would not be in this Hall of Fame without the person I'm presenting today. Heavy applause. Thank you. As a player for coach during 9 seasons and now as an assistant for coach for the last 2, I've had the unique privilege of seeing her leadership firsthand and her ability to challenge people, inspire them, and help them become more than they ever thought they could. Faster. There we go. Good. All right, first, let's throw it back. The year was love you. The year was 2016, 2017. A little story here about me and Coach's relationship. What's that? It was around that time. I stopped going overseas, so I was at home in Minneapolis during the off seasons of the WNBA. And at that point in my career, all the rage in women's basketball was eating healthy. Vegan, keto, paleo, macros, micros. I was more into carbos. I dabbled. I wouldn't say I went 2 feet in, but I dabbled for 2 days going vegan. It was at this point that Coach, we always would have a little lunch or dinner to get ready for the next season and figure out how to make it back to the finals. And we would go somewhere completely away from, practice facility and the arena. So she suggested this new restaurant as I was going vegan for 2 days, that we'd go to this restaurant called the Red Cow. Many of you are not from Minneapolis, I realize that, but the Red Cow is a burger joint in Minneapolis. But they have an amazing vegan Reuben made with beets as the burger. I know, it's weird. So we each had one of those with a side of fries as we were trying to maintain our deliciousness and our nutritiousness. And we would talk about the next season and figure out how we were going to make it back to the finals. All jokes aside, vegan burgers, those moments, those dinners. I can't see Coach right now. I know she's over there. Those times, along with every game with 60 minutes before the clock, we would talk. Sometimes about plays we were going to run, sometimes about how we could get Moan the ball, sometimes about how we could get, somebody else involved. Those are the moments that I will remember forever. So thank you for those. Also, to the Red Cow Restaurant Management Company. It's never too late for me and Coach for an NIL opportunity. We are available. We love the Reuben. We love the other burgers. And more importantly, we accept wire transfers to our accounts. Reflecting on my years with the Minnesota Lynx as a player, I often say that we were so incredibly fortunate to find each other at the times we did in life. Players like Moan, shout out Moan, where are you at, Moan? Maya, Taj, where you at, Taj? Sil, Monty, J-Mac, soon-to-be Women's Basketball Hall of Famer Rebecca Brunson. And so many others came together as a special group. Of course, talent alone doesn't create greatness. To make the most of our opportunities, you have to work hard, stay connected, trust one another, and persevere through different adversity. None of that would have been possible without the leader to guide us. The leader who could see different things in us that we couldn't see in ourselves, push us beyond our comfort zones, and help us reach our full potential. Turns out the potential of that group was something pretty cool. Together we built a dynasty in the WNBA. 6 finals in 7 years. Applause. Winning 4 championships in 7 years, making it to the finals 6 times. Climbing that mountain together each and every season and creating just unforgettable memories and moments on and off the floor. At the center of it all was Cheryl Reeve. Her vision, her standards, her toughness, her unwavering belief in her players are the reasons why so many of us achieved more than we could ever imagine possible. Faster. There we go. So much more than any of us could ever have done individually. She saw that in us before we could see that in ourselves, and that's what a great coach does. With that, ladies and gentlemen, class of 2026 inductee, my coach, my friend, my mentor, Cheryl Reeve.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Candace, I noticed when Lindsay asked for more applause with these finals and championships, you didn't participate in that. But before we get started, I want to shout out newly minted CEO of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, Michelle Marciniak, and the great work, those of us that, came in for multiple days, and the entertainment you provided, and just the hard work behind the scenes. So let's shout out the volunteers who participated in. One of the most enjoyable aspects of being here was going through the hall. And I went a little slower this time and just really taking it in. I love the history. I love remembering those before us. I met so many people from ago, and I got to this place in the hall, and I thought it was kind of peculiar, and I stopped and I looked, and I thought, I don't remember this being here. And there was this section that was labeled referees. And I thought, wow, Hall of Fame officials. I'm looking forward to having one in some upcoming games. I'm hoping. I'd like to start by congratulating the entire 2026 inductee class. To be standing here and sharing in this night with you all is an incredible honor. I also want to thank my family and friends who are sharing in this night with me, my amazingly supportive wife, Carly, and my amazing 11-year-old son, Oliver. Oliver, I'm standing up here because our team had a chance to win a lot of games. But I want you to know my greatest win is you. I love you, and I believe in you always. My two brothers who have supported me in every twist and turn of this coaching journey, my sisters-in-law, and the best nephew and nieces an aunt could have, my Aunt Barbara and cousins Terry and Hook, my incredibly supportive high school teammate Kim Franchi and her wife Nicole, my best friend since college, Audrey Waldron, who flew in from Colorado to be with me here tonight. And of course, the few individuals who directly impacted my inclusion in this ceremony tonight, Women's Basketball Hall of Famers, Lindsay Whalen, Simone Augustus, and Taj McWilliams Franklin. And finally, my mom, who is watching from home. Hi, Mom. I talk to my mom before every home game when I'm driving into the facility. I ring her up and just, what's she doing, et cetera, and then she'll tell me what we need to do that night, is the team ready, that sort of thing. So I appreciate those conversations as long as it's not on a Wednesday night, because that conflicts with casino night. 38 years ago, my goodness, I was a 21-year-old, and I was between my junior and senior years at LaSalle University, working the legendary Kathy Rush basketball camps. I called Kathy before coming here. I wanted her to know that my work at her camps ended up being the spark that became my lifelong passion for coaching basketball. Yeah. It was during those weeks as a camp counselor that I experienced the feeling of being in a huddle with my team, sharing strategy, breaking the huddle, taking the floor to execute the plan, and feeling that rush as I witnessed the joy the players felt in their successful execution. My collegiate playing career at LaSalle University wound down, and I was faced with the decision of what was next. One thing I was sure of, I was not done with basketball. And fortunately, I had two offers to join the coaching ranks. One was to be a graduate assistant at LaSalle University, and the other was potentially to join my high school coach if she were offered the collegiate job that she had interviewed for. Like the moment coaching at the camp, with Kathy Rush Camp, I vividly recall the meeting with my parents to decide my next step. The debate was whether coaching was a profession I should enter. Dad was worried I wouldn't be able to support myself financially. Mom wanted me to get a master's degree. And so I chose to get my master's while starting my coaching career. And I'm glad I did. To begin my coaching career learning from one of the best leaders I had in my life at that time, John Miller, was a blessing. I also count the blessings of these influences on my basketball career. Dawn Bunting, my high school coach, a badass competitive woman, where I learned the value of challenging your team to be great. Speedy Morris,
the hard-hitting, demanding coach that I absolutely thrived under. Joe McEwen, who's here tonight, shout out Joe McEwen. He gave me my first full-time, yes, give it up, Joe. He gave me my first full-time coaching position at George Washington University and showed me the blueprint for winning. Ann Donovan, the Hall of Famer who showed strength in tough times. Shout out, Ann. She showed me strength in tough times and the important lesson that if you believe in what you're doing, stick with it. Dan Hughes, WNBA coaching legend, taught me the art of communicating and that framing is everything. Bill Lambier, Naismith Hall of Famer, who I am indebted to for empowering me to be unapologetically myself. And he was a huge influence in me getting the opportunity in Minnesota. After 10 years coaching in college, the opportunity came for me to coach in the WNBA. It was 2001. The Charlotte Sting had just hired Ann Donovan. I drove to Moody Bible College in Chicago for the WNBA Draft Combine in April, where Ann interviewed me for an assistant coach position. She explained to me she didn't have a lot to offer, salary-wise, just $5,000. I said, I'm in. And once I got past explaining to my dad and my brother Larry that despite having 2 degrees, this position was the right move for me, I began my coaching journey in the WNBA. From 2001 until today, I ate, drank, and slept everything WNBA. I experienced teams folding. I collected unemployment. And hearing my dad wonder aloud, when was I going to get a real job? Through all the wins, losses, and championships, there were the incredible relationships with players that I will cherish forever. I'm indebted to players like Lindsay, Simone, and Taj, who I had the great fortune of coaching, for their sacrifices and all they poured into our basketball life together. I'm also indebted to every assistant coach and support staff who worked tirelessly to reach our greatest heights. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the profound impact the Minnesota Lynx organization and our loyal fans have had on my career. The belief, the passion, and support have made the last 16 seasons unforgettable. I am deeply grateful for this game we all love. I feel tremendous gratitude for the many who came before me, like Kathy Rush, who paved the way for the opportunity I have today. From coaching all-star games, to winning 4 championships, to winning gold in Paris, this game has given me a fulfilling lifetime of joy. I would like to end by thanking the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Selection Committee for my inclusion in the class of 2026. To share the hall with so many women's basketball greats makes me glad I never got a real job. Thank you.
Congratulations, Cheryl. Amaya Valdemoro is one of the most decorated international players in the history of women's basketball and a transformative figure in the game, for the game in Spain. A 3-time WNBA champion with the Houston Comets, she excelled on every stage of the sport. Valdemoro competed in 4 FIBA World Championships and helped elevate Spain into a global powerhouse, capturing 3 Eurobasket bronze medals, a silver medal, and tournament MVP honors in 2007, and a historic Eurobasket gold medal in 2013. Her club career was equally extraordinary, highlighted by a EuroLeague Women's Championship, 8 Spanish League titles, 9 Spanish Cup championships, and 3 Russian Cup championships. Recognized as one of the greatest players ever produced by Spain, she was inducted into the Spanish Basketball Hall of Fame in 2019 and the FIBA Hall of Fame in 2023. And now, to present Amaya Valdemoro, please welcome to the stage Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Class of 2021 inductee Carol Callan.
Well done, Cheryl and Lindsay. I learned a long time ago to never try to out-funny a funny person. So I'm going to get to business. It is my pleasure to introduce Amaya Valdemoro. You can, of course, read her accolades. You listen to Debbie. But I would like to just highlight a few. She's in the FIBA Hall of Fame. Over 20 years on the Spanish national team, encompassing 2 Olympics, 4 World Championships, and numerous European championships. Club championships within Spain, Russia, and the EuroLeague, plus 3 WNBA championships with Van and the Houston Comets. I have witnessed her performances with the Spanish national team and have admired her talents over the years. A true rival brings out the best in her competitors. Amaya always did that when the U.S. played And the U.S. players who played with Amaya on club teams respect her for what she was, a true competitor and scorer. Yet her close friend of 35 years and teammate, Elisa Aguilar, now the president of the Spanish Basketball Federation, says it best. To quote her, "The remarkable thing about Amaya is that even more than 10 years after her retirement, her presence in our game is as strong as it was when she was playing. I think that says everything about what Amaya means to Spanish basketball." Today, she becomes the first Spanish player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in the United States. And that carries a very special significance given the role the United States has played as the global powerhouse of women's basketball. Again, according to Elisa, we all agree. Amaya, the player, was the flagship of entire generations. She led her teams at a time when reaching the podium seemed incredibly difficult. Under her leadership, we not only started reaching those podiums, but we stayed there for many years. What made Amaya truly special was not only her talent, but the values she embodied every single day. She carried the DNA of the Spanish team, never giving up, competitiveness, fighting until the very last second, generosity, humility, and that unique sense of humor that was always part of who she was. We often used to say that we were like Rafael Nadal when he played Roger Federer. We, the Spanish national team, led by Amaya, were Nadal. The Russians, the Australians, and of course the United States were Federer. We would walk off the court exhausted, drenched in sweat, jerseys untucked, socks falling down, barely able to keep our shoes on. Meanwhile, they looked as if they had just started the game. That image always stayed with us because it represented the effort, sacrifice, and determination we left on the court every single time. And Amaya was the perfect example of all of that. If she was great on the court, she was even greater off it. Those of us who know her understand her generosity and her loyalty to the people she loves. Whenever Amaya called me and said, "Elisa, there are 6 of us for dinner tonight. Can you make the reservation?" I knew I had better reserve a table for 14. Amaya loves being surrounded by her family, her friends, and the people she cares about, many who are here today, plus those who are no longer with us, but were fundamental pillars in her life. Today, we celebrate one of the greatest players in the history of Spanish basketball. But above all, we celebrate an extraordinary person whose legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2026 inductee, Amaya Valdemoro.
Hi everyone. Buenas noches a todos. I'm gonna go all school, okay? First of all, I'd like to say that this recognition is for the years I've been dedicated to playing basketball, not for my English. So I'll blame my emotions for any mistake I might make tonight. I would like to start by thanking the people who made this possible, just in case of my nerves get the better of me and I forgot someone important. My teammates, my coaches, my physios, my friends, and of course my family, my rivals, and my family. And especially my sister, Virginia, and my nieces, Amaya, Daniela, that they are here with me tonight. Os quiero morir. También a los que están en casa, como mis tíos, mis primos y a María. Os quiero también todo. I would like to congratulate this amazing Hall of Fame class 2026. It's a true honor to share the stage with you tonight. When I received the news, I was so surprised that I honestly thought it was a joke. In fact, for those of you who don't know me that well, during the years I played here, Van Chandler, I love you, coach, I love you. Keep me on the bench more than on the court. But every single time I did get to play, I took every shot I could and I gave absolutely my everything. I was the happiest person, not only in Houston, but in the entire world. This recognition has made me reflect on my career, on how I became the player I was and the woman I am today. The truth is, before basketball, athletics was my first love. I wanted to run, and of course, I dreamed of being an Olympic champion of 1,500 meters. I was so competitive that if I didn't win, my dad had to take me to the ambulance because I couldn't breathe for the anxiety. Basketball crossed my path during one of my sister games at the age of 13 years old. I joined my first team. And 2 years later, I became a professional basketball player at Dorna Godella, with teammates like Teresa Edwards and Katrina McLean. And with that team, we won everything: the Spanish League, the Quid Cup, the Euro League, the World Cup of teams. And when I look back at the photos here in Knoxville and names hanging on these walls, I feel like I'm at the reunion on former teammates: Becky Hammond, Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Reeve, Arcane, Chamiqua, that is here, Delisa Milton, and the list goes on and on. I was incredibly lucky to have played with such an amazing teammates, but the truth is they were professional and personally. Among them, I also include the Hall of Famers of my own life: Elisa Aguilar and Ana Montañana, who continue to fight for the growth of basketball on and off the court. Sin vosotras, hoy no estaría aquí. Without them, I don't think I will belong here. I signed with the Comets in 1998, and I still get goosebumps when I think about that moment. At the time, do you remember, I was dealing with anxiety, and I had to learn how to manage it. Before the WNBA, I was playing in Germany, the World Cup, and I received the Lola Bunny Award. I was voted the most attractive player to watch. Thank God, things have changed. I was so competitive and so immature that my ego grew way too fast. I walked into the Comets locker room thinking I might get the spot of Cynthia, Cheryl, Janet. Poor me. The Comets were the best team in the WNBA history, the best players in the world, especially at my position. But looking back, I see a young, enthusiastic, and wild girl who believed in herself while playing on one of the greatest teams ever, and who also had a long, very close, almost permanent relationship with the bench. Jokes aside, sometimes I have to remind myself of how much I learned during those years. Being a part of the Comets has been fundamental in my career. Coach, love you. Remember, it's true that I was the first Spanish player to play in the WNBA. But in my life, I've been lucky to... Thank you. Gracias. But in my life, I've been lucky to be the first in many other things, too. I'm honored that I was able to inspire others to open doors for those who believe it was possible after they see me doing it. And I'm also deeply proud to have been part of the national team. Wearing that jersey means everything to me. Vamos, España! Over the past few months, I've gone back through all those years. Every piece of advice, every mistake, every lesson, and I realized something. The woman that I am today is the result of the player who learned how to stay in the game, every step of the way. Basketball and life are two sides of the same coin. And that is the lucky coin I carry with me today and every day. Oh my God, I can leave the stage. I can leave the stage without remember the two people who always watching me over. My mom, she left this world too soon, but she made me a promise that I will remember her every time that I score. That was the reason I always try to score so hard. And my dad, boy, he was the greatest partner. He believed in me when I was ready to quit. He was my everything every single day. Sometimes I still hear his voice saying the words he told me so many times. Amaya, un caballo de carreras nunca se convertirá en un burro. The translation of that will be something like, a racehorse will never turn into a donkey. The best of me belong to them. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. This recognition is for you too. Thank you all. This is already one of the best days of my life. Long live women's basketball!
Congratulations, Amaya. Few coaches in the history of basketball have built a program as successful, consistent, and enduring as Kim Muhl. Over a remarkable career spanning nearly 4 decades as head coach at Kirkwood Community College, Muhl compiled an extraordinary record of 1,108 victories against just 178 losses, including a dominant 464-35 record on his home court. Under his leadership, Kirkwood became a national powerhouse, capturing 9 NJCAA Division II national championships and making 24 national tournament appearances. His teams reached 34 regional finals, produced 35 consecutive 20-win seasons, won 106 consecutive conference games, and established the NJCAA Division II women's basketball record with 39 straight victories. Along the way, Muhl coached 37 All-Americans and helped develop countless student athletes on and off the court. A 23-time Region 11 Coach of the Year and 9-time Outstanding Coach of the Tournament, Muhl's impact on junior college basketball is unmatched. His contributions to the game have been recognized with induction into the National Junior College Athletic Association Women's Basketball Hall of Fame and the Kirkwood Athletics Hall of Fame. And now to present Kim Muhl, please welcome to the stage Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Class of 2024 inductee, Mary Rooney Scoville.
Well, I have a little more time because that's about 3/4 of my speech. The last time I was up here, the teleprompter wouldn't work, and it just kept rolling. And I thought, I went home and thought, gosh, if that thing would have just stopped on Simone or Maya, and I could have just been them for 5 minutes, that would have been what a night. But anyway, let me get back to business. As we gather here tonight to celebrate this amazing Hall of Fame class, I'm truly honored to be part of this ceremony to introduce our next inductee, Coach Kim Muhl. Coach Muhl dedicated his entire coaching career to the junior college level at Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Before I repeat everything Debbie just said, let me tell you a little bit about the other duties as assigned on the JUCO level while you're serving as the head coach. For 37 years, Coach Muhl taught 34 semester hours each year while being the head coach. He also was an academic advisor. He drove the bus. He washed the uniforms. He built the weight room, painted it, was very proudly talked to me about painting the weight room. He served as the strength and conditioning coach. He taped everybody's ankles for practice and games. And I can just go on and on about the JUCO coach. In fact, one year, as his team was preparing to play for the national championship, he got the call from the WBCA that he was named the National Coach of the Year. He said, "Thank you, sounds great, but I've got 8 more ankles to tape, so I gotta go." Recently, Coach Muhl and I were reminiscing about life as junior college coaches. We laughed about how coaches from four-year institutions who, back in the day, would visit campus to recruit his kids, and almost always, before they left campus, they would ask, "What's it like to only coach them for a year or two? Must be tough." Well, Coach Muhl, now they know. Yeah, now they know. And over the 37 years, here's something that we also talked about. I'm kind of ad-libbing a little bit. In 37 years, he never missed a day of work. That's amazing. And over the 37 years, he had 37 consecutive 20-win seasons. And again, for the repeat stuff, but what he did is worth repeating. The 9 national championships, not a typo, 9 national championships. And when we talk about junior college, those teams were either predominantly freshmen some years predominantly sophomores, and if you were lucky, you had a little bit of both to carry on the tradition from year to year. So in 37 years, he took freshmen and sophomores and built them into a powerhouse, and in 5.5 months every year, he was playing for a national title, or he was playing in 34 regional finals, 24 national tournament appearances. So Coach Muhl, as you say, you compiled a record of 1,108 wins, not enough losses to even mention again, making him the winningest coach in women's junior college history, and making him, and here's a big number, he's 3rd on the all-time list of winning coaches at any level. Coach Muhl, congratulations. This induction is so well deserved, and this honor is a fitting tribute to a career that truly represents the very best of our profession. Coach Kim Muhl.
Rooney forgot to mention that she did play us one time in Chipola. I don't know if you remember that, Coach, but we played in Chipola, Florida, and she was the nicest human being to me because she could have beat us by 40. She only beat us by about 24, I think, that night. So I've always been very thankful to her that she did not beat us worse. So, first of all, though, I'd like to thank all the Board of Trustees, whoever's been associated with Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. You just can't sit there and talk or say thank you to 1 or 2 people. The interns, I think I kind of overwhelmed them by not wanting to wear pants every day, so your fault. But I really appreciate all the work they've done behind the scenes. This is truly an honor. I mean, I can't even describe it. I want to congratulate definitely all the other inductees. To be on stage with you guys is amazing. It's just not real to me. Honestly, I never thought I'd be here. So I'm going to kind of explain how it happened. The stuff Rooney said is all true. We did all that stuff at Kirkwood in the stages of it. But the start of this journey started in 1973. I kind of took a hiatus from basketball, although I thought I could play basketball in the service. So from 73 to 76, I enlisted in the United States Army, and and I did serve. I did not go overseas. I was very fortunate. Basketball helped me not go overseas, and I never served in any type of combat, which I'm fortunate in my life. So I stayed in the Army. Then in 1976, the guy that was my high school or college coach, he never quit talking to me for 3 years. So I went to William Penn College in Oskaloosa, Iowa, played baseball and basketball. And Coach Richardson was definitely an influence in my life. He taught me how to play defense, which I didn't really like to do a whole lot. So, but if most of you know the teams that played for me, they had to guard somebody, otherwise would never play for me. But after graduation, I did a lot of goofy jobs, admissions, all sorts of stuff. Took a hiatus, went to California, and I just didn't like seeing people not being happy going to work. So I was like, I got to do something I want to do. I want to be happy when I go to work every day. So and I started writing letters. Yeah, we didn't have phones. We didn't have computer. So I sent about 200 letters easily out all over the country, just trying to get involved in college basketball. So ironically, on our way down here, my wife and I were driving by Cumberland College in Williamsburg, Kentucky, and that's where I started my college career with Randy Vernon, who was an unbelievable man, coach. His sons are coaching at Campbellsville, Kentucky. But he gave me an opportunity, which I'll never forget, and we moved forward. Got my master's. Next stop was Tiffin, Ohio. I knew what I didn't want to do after Tiffin, Ohio. Let's put it there. There's no way I wanted to do what was done there. So my wife and I, that year, we worked, we had 11 W-2 forms for that year. It was just a nightmare. But we looked at each other and we go, we got to get out of here. We got to go. So where's my ties? Iowa was my tie. So we said, whoever got the job first, we're moving back home, to my home. She's from Kentucky. So we took off. She got the job, of course. And I got my job when I got back there, which was, I've got to read this. I was a supervisor for a janitorial company. So I was the supervisor of janitors in the city of Cedar Rapids, and no basketball in the picture. And that was then in the fall of 1988, Norway High School, population of 105 kids, 9 through 12, they gave me the opportunity to be the women's basketball coach. I interviewed there. There was over 90 applicants, 95 degrees, very humid, and I wore a suit. And that's why I got the job. That's what they told me anyhow. So I was hired the head girls basketball coach and baseball coach. So one year, just into that position after a couple months, they said, hey, we're going to consolidate. I'm like, oh, great. No job again. So the position at Kirkwood Community College opened. And you'll get a kind of kick out of this. But because I interviewed, this was very nice. I didn't interview. I interviewed in a sweatsuit in the president's, Norm Nielsen's office. And he's got a real gravelly voice. And he was like, asked these weird questions. He said, I just want to win. Can you win? I said, I think I can. I think we'll be okay. So at 7:30 this morning in 1989, he offered me the job of head women's coach in basketball and head softball coach. So with the option of teaching 15 hours in the spring, 15 hours in the fall, 4 hours in the summer. So in my starting salary, $22,700. And I was thrilled. So we started my first year with 8 players, none of which I recruited. And these 8 kids, I think I've stayed in touch with like 7 of them to this day. But they bought in. Practice kind of sucks sometimes. Wasn't very fun, because we only had 8 kids. But we ended up, I think we were 26-8. We ended up going to the national tournament, and little did I know what was starting. At the time, it was just so surreal just to have a college job. But I knew it was something I do and I was loved. But over time, our philosophy became very simple. Get better every day, be accountable, be humble. And that kind of went with our program for many years. It shaped our program for nearly 4 decades. People talk about championships and wins, but I'm certainly proud of those accomplishments. But I look back now, what means the most are the people. I had 3 kids come today. At our level, it's so different. But I had 3 kids just show up today on their own just to see me at the Hall of Fame. I mean, but this is truly, to me, a shared honor. If it goes true to our, what we say, being humble, it is a shared honor with everybody that's been part of our program. It belongs to the players. My assistant coaches are both here today, trainers, faculty members, administrators, fans, and everybody helped our program over the years. I had the opportunity to coach 600 women's basketball players and over 150 softball players at Kirkwood Community College, and I taught over 2,700 students in the classroom. And the truth is, they changed me far more than I changed them. Some players, at our level, some players come to Kirkwood or the junior college level. A lot of disappointment, a lot of doubt, they didn't believe in themselves anymore, and maybe basketball has passed them by. Watching them grow, not as players but as people, became the most meaningful part of my career. Seeing them leave Kirkwood, believing in themselves, again, meant more than any championship. Watching former players become successful adults, mothers, coaches, teachers, nurses, and leaders has been the greatest reward of my career. To all my assistant coaches through the years, thank you. Jen and Britt are here today. They are unbelievable assistant coaches at our level. Your loyalty, commitment, and countless hours help make our program successful. Nobody ever builds anything alone, and it certainly wasn't my deal. I had a lot of people helping me. I want to thank Kirkwood Community College and the Cedar Rapids community for support for me and my family. I will forever be grateful for that support. And finally, I want to thank my family. A bunch of them are here today. I'm not going to say names because then I'll screw that up. But they, obviously, me being involved 37 years, I did not go to a lot of things, let's put it that way. Not a lot of, Christmas, maybe a 2-day deal. Thanksgiving was a 1-day deal, and 1 day go back to basketball. So basketball was probably, we ate, drank, and the whole deal, as Rooney said. But coaching required sacrifice, not only from me, but from everyone around them, from assistant coaches to family. Most importantly, I want to thank my wife of 39 years. 39. But we've been through this entire journey together, and she has kind of kept me in line, because I'm not the best politically correct person. Long nights, road trips, practice, games, and challenges. She's always been there. But I would not be standing here tonight without her love and support. As I stand here tonight, sharing the Hall of Fame class with some of the greatest names of basketball, it is honestly hard to fully believe I'm here. I was fortunate to spend my life doing something I loved along incredible people, and for that, I'll always be grateful. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Kim. Well, it's my honor to introduce Barbara Kennedy-Dixon, one of the most prolific scorers and rebounders in the history of women's college basketball. At Clemson University, she amassed 3,113 career points and 1,252 rebounds, becoming one of only 8 players in NCAA history to record at least 3,000 points and 1,000 rebounds, and she did not have the three-point line. Her dominance was unmatched as she still holds Clemson and ACC single-season records for points, scoring average, field goals, and rebounds. And there's been a heck of a lot of great players that have come through the ACC. Kennedy-Dixon was the 1979 ACC Rookie of the Year, a three-time first-team All-ACC selection, a two-time All-American, and a two-time ACC Tournament MVP. She was later named to the 50th anniversary in the ACC and represented the United States on the 1981 Jones Cup team, earning a silver medal. A member of both the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame and the South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame, Barbara Kennedy-Dixon's impact on the game remains legendary. And now, to present my friend and one of my mentors, Barbara Kennedy-Dixon, please welcome to the stage Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Class of 2019 inductee, Valerie Still.
I got that kind of power, huh? My posse that travels with me. Good evening, everyone. It's so good to be here. First of all, thank you, Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, for always honoring the past, celebrating the present, and promoting the future of women's basketball. We appreciate that. Congratulations, class of 2026. Awesome class, amazing. I talked about the energy. I believe that we are not our bodies. Once we leave this place, all of us are superstars. So we're just pure energy that can't be destroyed, it can't be created. It always exists. It's pure, it's positive, it's powerful, it's unlimited. And all of us sitting in here is that. And some of us leave this body, but I believe we need to recognize them. And I believe they're with us today as we celebrate one of the... Oh, I thought Barb was behind me here. So I'd just like to take a moment. I know we did a moment of silence for Pat, but I want each one of you to think of someone that's no longer here, but that was monumental to you. Barb, I know I can feel her energy here, and just take a moment of, I call it stillness, and let's just invoke that, and that'll help me out as well, because I'm nervous as ever. I don't do this. I'm like hibernating now. So is that okay with you all? Just let's invoke that energy. Just a second, stillness. Thank you. You feel that posse? Yeah, that's what it's all about. So, over 4 decades, long before the bright lights, the national television deals, and the roaring crowds of the modern WNBA, a generation of fearless women paved the way for the sport we love today. Yeah, and we don't remember them all the time. As a historian, there's an powerful African proverb that I love. It says, if the lion doesn't tell the story, guess what? The hunter takes the glory. Well, tonight we refuse to let the hunter take the glory. We're here to tell the story of a lioness of the hardwood, a Clemson Tiger lioness, legend. Yeah. An inductee into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, of course, class of 2026, even though class of 2019 was the best, right, Joan? Beth, yeah, okay, Carol, no, okay, never mind, I don't want to start stuff. But all jokes aside, one of the ultimate unsung pioneers of women's basketball, my dear friend and sister, Barb Kennedy-Dixon. I want to introduce you all to her just a little bit. Today we see this modern WNBA, right? Superstars rightly signing multi-million-dollar contracts, yeah, playing in front of sold-out crowds of family, friends, fanatic fans. But we must never forget that the house they're playing in, it's built on the foundations that were laid by players like Barbara Kennedy-Dixon. Over a decade before sustainable women's basketball, professional basketball in the United States ever existed, guess what? Almost 50 years ago, Barb, right straight out of college, a young girl, think about it, pre-cell phone, pre-internet, pre-Me Too, pre-guaranteed contracts. Barb packed her bags, she crossed an ocean, she traveled overseas to validate her worth as a professional athlete. That says so much. We don't recognize that. She became a monumental force in the Italian league. She only played there for 2 years. It only took her, that's what kind of energy and power she had. It only took her 2 years. She was there for 2 years. Because Barb and her peers dared to blaze that international trail, guess what? The game has evolved to what it is today. And for me, it's a direct result of her courage that the WNBA, yeah, we're able to celebrate the 30th anniversary milestone this summer. Yeah. Now, on the court, of course, Barb was absolutely undeniable. You heard the accolades. She remains one of the most prolific scorers in women's college basketball history, period. Yet, for me, her true legacy stretches far beyond the box scores. Barb, for me, like many players back then, myself, not knowingly, we looked at a basketball, we saw a vehicle for social change. She utilized women's basketball as a social movement, proving to the world that female athletes deserved global respect, we deserved equal opportunities, and we deserved a professional platform going overseas. Yeah. But when I think about Barb tonight, I don't just think about the points, I don't think just about the rebounds or this incredible basketball history. The thing that I remember most about Barb, and I knew her overseas, I did not play against her in college, was her deep humility. Incredible. The humility is very important. Her deep humility, her quick humor, her absolute love for life. I remember, if you knew Barb, that smile, she had this smile, these dimples that would break your heart. And she had that smile and those dimples while she was breaking defenders' ankles. Always a smile on her face. While she was struggling through life-threatening illnesses, as she was struggling through life challenges, always with a smile on her face and those gorgeous dimples. But I remember her love for life. She was one that she wanted to have a good time, and I talked to her college teammate. I won't tell her stories, but she was telling me some of her stories and how fun-loving she was. And I remember all our crazy, fun, amazing days in Italy back in the mid-'80s. Barb was there from '82 to '84. And she was in a little town called Schio. It's in the foothills of Veneto. Now, now players go overseas, they're living large. Back then there was one American player on each team, isolated from everything, and yet Barb was a socialite. Barb ended up finding a military base that was a town over. Now remember, this is pre-internet, all that kind of stuff. She finds that, and her husband's going to tell you a little more about the other things she got into. This is pre-M. Before Marvin. But Barb was that kind of, and the town loved her. In fact, that town, Schio, is now a dynasty. It's one of the best women's basketball programs in Italy and in Europe, period. And I believe that's a direct result of Barb, even those 2 years she was there. So, I have the saying, what happens in Schio stays in Schio. So I'm going to leave it at, I won't tell you any of our other good stories. But jokes apart, it's the honor of my lifetime to stand here tonight to introduce the world to my sister, la mia sorella della Lega Professionistica Milanese Italiana, and to introduce you all to her beautiful family, her greatest pride, joy, and legacy. So I want to please join with me in recognizing her devoted husband, Marv, who were high school sweethearts, he was stalking her, or I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. It's a love story. You should read up, Google her and read up on this amazing story. And to also introduce you to her two amazing superstar children, Jasmine and Jalen. Barb, I know you represent her as well. And to Barb, I'd like to say, Barb, your impact on this world is permanent. Your story tonight is officially written with your induction to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Your legacy will never be forgotten for generations of women that are going to follow in your footsteps after tonight with you being inducted in the class of 2026. So rest in peace, my dear sister, Sorella Mia. As they say in Clemson, your roar will echo forever. As they say in Clemson, she will triumph. And as Barb would say, never ever quit. Never ever quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Thank you.
That the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Happy birthday to Jasmine, our daughter. The day is her birthday. And I know there's a lot of Clemson in the house. We got families and friends. Would y'all stand up? And we're in the house tonight. I would like to say good evening to everyone, but most importantly, I want to thank God, who is the ruler over all things. My name is Marvin Dixon, and I am the husband of the late Barbara Kennedy-Dixon. For that reason, and that reason only, is why I'm standing before you. We're here to give Barbara, our angel, her well-deserved flowers during this very special occasion. We celebrate not only her accomplishment as an athlete, but her life journey. So Barbara, this is your night, and we're going to let your light shine. I'm sure almost everyone here has read or heard about all of Barbara's success stories, but I won't bore you by repeating them. My speech will be transitional. In the third person, I will share a few things about Barbara that you all may not know. And afterwards, in the first person, I will attempt to speak the speech that Barbara would have made if she was physically here this evening. So let's get started. The song you heard while we were walking in, Barbara wrote the words, played the keyboards, and sung both lead and background vocals. Her song was produced in Italy after winning first prize in a talent contest. Barbara is the second oldest of 6 siblings. She loves her family deeply, and she never met a stranger. She was very gifted and dedicated to everything she was involved in. Growing up, Barbara was a complete athlete and could play any sports. She would always play basketball with the older boys, and they would make a fuss over which team she would be on. The first time I saw Barbara, she flew by our house riding a motorcycle. I turned to my oldest brother and asked, "Who was that?" Randy replied, "Wonder Woman." As an adult, Barbara's main hobby was cutting grass. My role was to make sure the lawnmower, weed eater, and blower were properly maintained. There were several times I would have to go stop her and come inside because she would start cutting the neighbor's grass. During her unfortunate second battle with cancer, she would visit the sick as well as take food to them. Barbara continued to attend church and sing on the different choirs. When she was able to start back to work part-time, no matter how weak she felt on her days off, the morning when she had to go to work, God gave her the strength to get up and drive herself. Barbara really loved her career. She was most caring, lovable, humble person you will ever meet. She was truly an angel that walked on this earth. And now in heaven, she is walking the streets of gold. And cutting the grass. Barbara is still changing lives today. Now, I can feel Barbara's spirit present in this place. And to truly honor her, we must move past talking about her and start listening to her. If she was here standing right now, looking out into the audience, this is what she would probably say. Now, be aware, our voices might sound the same sometime, okay? What you do in the dark will come to the light. Greetings, everyone, who's traveled near and far to witness this special occasion and to recognize this group of amazing individuals. A big thank you to the Hall of Fame committee and the entire staff behind the scenes that have made this weekend a success. First, giving thanks to God, who I love dearly. All glory belongs to him. And yes, I love Clemson University. My life has been overwhelmed by so many people, and I am well aware that calling out individuals by name, I may leave a lot of people out. But with respect to the time that I have been given, I will identify a few names of individuals that assisted in establishing the roadmap of my Clemson journey, from a player to an assistant coach, and finally several administrative positions with the athletic department. Coach Annie Tribble recruited me. She reminded me so much of my mother that is the reason I went to Clemson. The initial experience was frightening, leaving home and going to a place I had never heard of. But the real kicker was when I arrived on campus, Coach Tribble explained to me that she had no more basketball scholarships and that I would be offered a volleyball scholarship instead. Now, I have tried to play every sport under the sun, but volleyball was not on the radar where I grew up. So I cried and I cried. The next day, I went to the first volleyball practice, and Coach Tribble came and rescued me, and the rest is history. My time at Clemson led me to a professional career in Italy and only a few seasons with the U.S. team after returning home. I was working in Charleston, South Carolina, when I received a phone call from the new Clemson head coach, Jim Davis. He gave me an opportunity to join him as an assistant coach, which I gladly accepted. Being able to return to the university that I truly love and to also have the chance to make a difference in the lives of young people, sign me up. Love you, Coach Davis. After several years of coaching, Marvin and my desires to have a family became stronger. I love my family, my sisters, my brothers, all my nieces, my nephews, and their family. I love you all so much. I removed myself from coaching and started to spread my wings throughout the campus in several positions within the athletic department. I would like to take this time to thank the following individuals, their entire staff, who embraced me, supported me, allowed me to grow into the person I have become. The late Terry Dunn Phillips, Jim Barker, Almeda Jacks, the IPTE Board of Directors, all of my teammates. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Jim Davis, Bill DeAndre, Dwight Rainey, Becky Bowman, James Clemens, Dan Radakovich, Graham Neff, Linda White, Shelley Gear, Terry Townsend, Ida Benson, my church families, Abel Baptist Church and New Holly Light Missionary Baptist Church. Finally, I would like to acknowledge two special young ladies that walk closely in my shadow, Stephanie Ellison Johnson and Kenitra Queen. In closing, to my entire Clemson family and friends, I love you all, and go Tigers! Thank you for this amazing moment, and God bless you all.
Congratulations, Marvin. And go Tigers. I'll throw that in there, too. Doris Burke is a trailblazer, pioneer, and one of the most influential voices in the history of basketball. For more than 3 decades, she has transformed sports broadcasting, earning the respect of players, coaches, executives, and fans across every level of the game. Her preparation, insight, and authenticity have made her one of the most trusted analysts in basketball and helped open doors for generations of women who followed. Throughout her remarkable career, Burke shattered barriers as the first woman to serve as the commentator for the New York Knicks games on both radio and television, the first woman to serve as the primary commentator on a men's college basketball conference package, and the first woman hired nationally as a regular NBA game analyst for ESPN. She continued making history as the first woman to call the NBA Conference Finals and NBA Finals on radio, and in 2023 became the first woman to serve as an analyst on ESPN's lead NBA Finals broadcast team. A recipient of the USA Today Rudy Award, a member of the New England Basketball Hall of Fame, and recipient of the NCAA Silver Anniversary Award, Doris's impact extends far beyond broadcasting. She's changed what generations believed was possible. Regretfully, Doris is unable to join us in person this evening. However, she has asked me to accept on her behalf, which is an incredible honor, which I take very seriously, and I'm happy to do that for Doris. She has prepared a special video to accept her induction into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame.
Good evening to everyone in Knoxville, Tennessee. My hope is everyone, most especially tonight's honorees, are having an amazing weekend. Please know I am so sorry I can't be there to celebrate with you all. Allow me to thank the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Board of Governors and the Selection Committee for my induction into this prestigious institution. And to all of tonight's honorees, congratulations on your induction, and what a privilege to go in beside each and every one of you. To Elena and to Candace and to Cheryl, I loved every second of having the opportunity to cover a portion of your journeys. Without women's basketball, it is hard for me to understand how my life may have played out. The basketball scholarship I received to Providence College and the subsequent time I spent there changed my life and laid a foundation that is still in place to this day. Each and every step of the way, I have had the incredible opportunity to cover the absolute giants of the women's game. Tara Vanderveer, Pat Summitt, C. Vivian Stringer, Gino Auriemma, that list goes on and on. Think about how blessed I have been to call the games of the likes of Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, Diana, Sue, Asia, Maya, Candace Parker, Candace Ace and Ice. Everyone there knows that reference. That list too goes on and on. In 1997, the formation of the WNBA changed the equation for an aspiring female broadcaster. It was that moment in time that allowed a woman to cover exclusively women's college basketball and the WNBA and to make a living as a color analyst. Women of the WNBA early, Val Ackerman, Terry Schindler, Renee Brown, they were sources of great leadership and inspiration for me, and I thank all of them. To my colleagues at ESPN, who lifted me up every single day with their knowledge and their passion and their broadcast skill, my sincerest thanks, and I am indebted to each and every one of you. Women like Robin Roberts, Beth Mowens, and Holly Rowe. These women set an example every single day with their professionalism and their expertise, and I tried to live up to that example every single day. To see the explosion in popularity of the women's game has been a source of abject joy for me. I cannot wait to see where the next generation takes us. Godspeed, and thank you again.
Congratulations, DB. An incredible role model to many of us in the business, and we're really proud of you. Next, Elena Delle Donne, one of the most gifted, efficient, impactful players the game of basketball has ever seen. From the moment she stepped on the court at the University of Delaware, Delle Donne redefined expectations. A three-time Colonial Athletic Association Player of the Year and two-time Consensus All-American, she elevated her program to national prominence while establishing herself as one of the most dominant players in college basketball. Selected second overall in the 2013 WNBA draft by the Chicago Sky, Delle Donne made an immediate impact, earning WNBA Rookie of the Year honors and launching a professional career that would place her among the game's all-time greats. She captured a WNBA championship in 2019, earned 2 WNBA Most Valuable Player awards, was selected to 7 WNBA All-Star games, and earned 4 All-WNBA first-team selections. In 2019, she achieved one of the rarest accomplishments in basketball history, becoming the first player to join the prestigious 50-40-90 club, shooting 51.5% for the whole season. 51.5% from the field, 43% from three-point range, and what I like to say is 97.4 from the free throw line. Internationally, Delle Donne helped lead Team USA to Olympic gold in 2016, was a FIBA World Cup gold medal in 2018. Today, she continues to shape the future of the sport as the first managing director of the USA 3-on-3 women's national team. Elena Delle Donne's legacy is defined by excellence, resilience, and a standard of performance few athletes in basketball history have ever achieved. And now, to present Elena Delle Donne, please welcome to the stage Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Class of 2002 inductee, Marianne Stanley.
Got all these tall people here today. Us short guys, us guards, got to use all the tools at our disposal. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the inductees. I'm old enough to have seen virtually all of you perform, And the joy, the achievement, the excellence, the passion, the competitive nature for each and every one of you is just incredible. So congratulations to each and every one of you. Well, I'd start by saying that Elena Delle Donne is one of the most accomplished women's basketball players ever to put on a jersey. As Debbie said, she graduated in 2013 from the University of Delaware, setting records all across the board. She has set nearly every school record at the University of Delaware. Not only was she an all-CAA performer, but a 3-time NCAA All-American. She was also named National Player of the Year. She finished her college career as the #5 all-time leading scorer in NCAA history with 3,039 points. And something that I know her family feels is important and Elena feels is important, Elena was also recognized as a 2-time National Academic All-American. Elena was drafted #2 overall by Chicago and was named Rookie of the Year in her first season. Throughout her career, as Debbie mentioned, 4-time WNBA first-team member, 7-time WNBA All-Star, 2-time MVP. In 2017, Elena was traded to the Washington Mystics. And in 2019, she helped lead the Mystics to their first ever WNBA championship. That season was proved to be momentous for Elena and for the Mystics. Debbie mentioned the 50-40-90 club. Think about this. To shoot 51% from the field, 43% from the three-point line, 97% from the free throw line for a game is an incredible accomplishment. Elena did this for a season, an entire season. I love the fact that as an Olympic gold medalist and World Championship gold medalist, and a person who has an unblemished 29-0 record as a player in USA basketball games played, that even though she retired from playing, Elena continues to pour her heart and soul into USA basketball and is the managing director of the USA basketball 3-on-3 women's national team, which recently won a gold medal. No surprise there. Of course, none of these achievements would be possible without the unwavering dedication to excellence that Elena displays. Anybody that's known her and is around her can see it plainly. Her outstanding leadership qualities, her relentless work ethic, and attention to detail are legendary, as is her team-first mentality. While at Washington, I had the opportunity to coach Elena as an assistant coach and position coach. I found Elena to not only be one of the hardest working players with whom I've ever worked, but also a great teammate and one of the most down-to-earth and genuinely nicest people I've ever met. I witnessed firsthand Elena's ability to continually work at self-improvement and to overcome setbacks and injury. And I want to share a story with you about the 2019 season and that championship in Washington. What few people know is that Elena suffered a serious back injury in Game 2, or they knew that she hurt her back, didn't quite understand the magnitude. Game 2 of the finals series in 2019, and she had to be wheeled off the court. After being evaluated, the doctors informed Elena that they could give her an injection to help her with the pain, but she would not be able to play the rest of the series. Of course, Elena refused to quit. She was adamant that she would continue playing, and she literally used every modality available to the athletic trainers on staff to help get that back going, and then went above and beyond using a float tank and a hyperbaric chamber. There was no expense too much to do everything possible to get back in shape. She was literally and virtually getting therapy around the clock. Guess what? Elena did get back on the court, and the Mystics went on to win the 2019 WNBA championship. I, as well as everyone else in our organization, was amazed and inspired by Elena's incredible determination, her courage, resilience, and commitment to her team. Tonight, please go along with me, congratulate Elena Delle Donne on your induction into the 2026 class of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame.
First, I just have to start off by saying, Knoxville, you are amazing. You all have been so warm to my family and myself, and I'm not sure if it's because of this Hall of Fame honor or because I left UConn after 48 hours of being on campus, but I'll take it. Yeah, that was nice. Thank you, Knoxville. As I look out at this Hall of Fame class, I'm truly humbled to be among such legends. And after spending the weekend with you, you all are Hall of Fame people, and it has truly been incredible. We're on this team together forever. And you're also really good speakers, which makes this really hard for me, because I am that much more nervous now. But anyways, to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Board of Trustees and Governors, thank you for this incredible honor and for everything you do to celebrate and grow our game. If you told the younger version of me that I'd be giving a Hall of Fame speech one day, I wouldn't have believed you. Wait, this is a little slow. I need to go kind of faster. Okay, there we go. With you wet. I was just a lanky kid in Delaware shooting with an oven mitt on my guide hand. Debbie knows it. And my only defender was a ladder named Oscar with a broomstick on top. Dad's way of making sure I found the perfect arc pattern for my shot. I guess it worked. I fell in love with this game early and intensely. It had all the elements of a classic love story, the incredible highs, the challenging lows, and the patient growth in between. We even went through a little breakup in my teens where I thought I'd moved on to volleyball. But as it turns out, standing here now, that was just a rebound. Early in my career, I faced struggles that often went unseen, burnout and moments of doubt about my purpose. Later, Lyme disease and a back injury tested me in ways I never imagined, forcing me to rebuild my body from the ground up. What carried me through wasn't just perseverance. It was the people around me, my family, teammates, Meg, my best friend who's here now, friends, coaches, favorite coach here, Coach Stans, love you. Even fans. These challenges taught me that growth isn't what you endure alone, but about the personal connections that lift you up along the way. During the journey, I also found the courage to fully be myself, to live openly, to love openly, and to share that part of my life with the world. Marrying my wife was one of the greatest moments of my life. Go Gays, right, Cheryl? Amanda, before you, go Gays. Before you, my path felt shakier, grayer, and heavier. I'm so thankful my hardest physical challenges came after meeting you, because your presence turned the darkest moments into something I could survive, and we would even laugh through. To my teammates, sitting right here, Meg, thank you for being my family on and off the court. You lifted me up in my hardest moments and celebrated every single win. You all are the reason I had so much joy in the journey. To my built-in lifelong teammates, my siblings, Jean, whether it was running 400s on the track, whitewater rafting in Tennessee with Jennifer when I needed a mental reset, or battling it out in endless games of mini ball, you've taught me that having fun matters just as much as winning, that holding on to that inner child and the laughs along the way are what make the journey worth it, and to always stay hydrated. We love Miller Lite. NIL, let's go. And Lizzie. I knew I should have skipped her, but that would have been real bad, huh? Although you can't hear me, I hope you can feel the impact you've made on me. Born with challenges most people couldn't begin to understand, you faced life with a strength and a deep belly chuckle that has shaped who I am. You've shown me that the hardest battles are met head on, without self-pity, and without comparison. And to my parents, thank you for something that I didn't fully understand the power of until much later. You never treated me any different than my brother when it came to sports. There were no limits, no lowered expectations, just belief. And because of that, I grew up not seeing barriers. I didn't see inequity. I didn't see the uphill battle. I just saw opportunity. And that mindset stayed with me. When I got to the professional level, I realized the reality that women's sports weren't always given the same space, the same visibility, or the same respect. But because of how you raised me, I didn't accept that as the norm. I wanted to help break that mold through my play and proof of marketability and value. And when I look at the game today, how much it's grown, how many more young girls, like my niece Gia, can believe in a tangible dream, I feel so proud. Because the goal was always bigger than me, bigger than championships, bigger than accolades. The goal was to leave the game in a better place than when I found it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Elena, and we all love Lizzie. Few players have had a greater impact on the growth and international recognition of French women's basketball than Isabelle Fijalkowski. A dominant force throughout her career, Fijalkowski made history in 1997 as the first French woman ever selected in the WNBA draft. Helping pave the way for future generations of international players. She later helped lead the Cleveland Rockers to the WNBA Eastern Conference Championship in 1998. Her success extended across Europe, where she captured 2 EuroLeague championships, 5 French League titles, 2 Italian championships, and 2 French Cup titles. Her exceptional play earned her back-to-back French League MVP honors and 2 Italian League MVP awards. On the international stage, Fijalkowski became the leading scorer in the history of French national basketball, totaling 2,562 points in 204 games, She helped lead France to 2 Eurobasket silver medals before capturing a historic Eurobasket gold medal in 2001. In recognition of her outstanding contributions to sport, she was awarded the French Ministry of Youth and Sports Silver Medal in 2004. And now, to present Isabelle Fijalkowski, please welcome to the stage Women's Basketball Hall of Fame Class of 2018 inductee, Seal Berry.
Thank you. It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Isabelle
Fijalkowski to you. In 1994, a former Lady Vol and a very good friend of mine, Tanya Javi, called me from France. Tanya was playing professionally in France, and she said, Seal, I got to tell you about this phenomenal French player, Isabelle Fijalkowski. She wants to come to the United States. She wants to play collegiately. I'm thinking, why didn't you call Pat Summitt? If she's that good. I did. I called Pat. She's out of scholarships. It was my lucky day at Colorado. My assistant, Karen Morrison, hopped on a flight the next day and flew to Paris. She goes over there. She offers Isabelle Fijalkowski a scholarship without even telling me. She says, Seal, she is that good. And that's how Isabelle Fijalkowski began her Hall of Fame journey in the United States. She came over to Colorado. I watched her scrimmage. I gathered our staff together. I said, number one, we cannot let this player get injured. She is so good, she's got a huge future in front of her. And number two, we need to get her the ball. We got her the ball. That year, attendance at Colorado home games exploded. Sellout crowds, 11,000 people. They came, they heard the word about this awesome French player on the Colorado basketball team. Isabelle led the team in scoring that year, even though she only averaged 24 minutes a game. With Isabelle on the team, Colorado ran the table in the Big 8 Conference, winning the regular season and the postseason tournament, 17 consecutive games. Isabelle was named first team all-conference. She's also academic all-conference. And she won the MVP in the Midwest Regional after scoring 35 points in the final. Her only NCAA that year. She got to play 1 year at Colorado. But what made Isabelle, in my mind, a Hall of Famer was her approach to becoming a champion. She had a very professional mentality at a very young age, 22. She was eager for instruction. She listened. You love that. It was contagious. She practiced with the same intensity that she showed in the games. Colorado elevated because of her presence. Off the court, she was loved. She was respected, not just because of her basketball instincts and her skill, but she had a great sense of humor. She had common courtesy, and she had a humility about all this attention she suddenly was receiving in the United States. She was very humble. She went on to be drafted, as Debbie mentioned, by the WNBA's Cleveland Rockers in 1997. She became a starter, yes. And then she became a go-to scorer for the 2000 French Olympic team. She's being inducted this evening based on those professional and international achievements. In the future, Isabelle might be known in basketball circles as Alicia Tornabese's mother. Alicia currently plays for South Carolina. But tonight, Alicia, you have a mom who's a Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2026 inductee, Isabelle Fijalkowski.
I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure I ever imagined standing here. Not because I didn't work for it, but because when you grow up in France, dreaming about basketball, you just focus on the next practice, the next game, the next challenge. You don't think about a moment like this one could exist. So before anything else, I just want to say thank you, because no one achieves this alone. I grew up in France at a time when women's basketball was just finding its voice. We didn't have much, but we had passion, and we had each other. That was enough to go far. I was already playing for the national team, living my dream, when something in me started wondering what it would feel like to play in the United States. I didn't know how to get there. I didn't have a plan. I just had that quiet dream. And then people showed up. My teammate, Pauline Ekambi, heard that dream. Pauline was the captain of our national team, 254 games in the blue jersey, the first French woman to ever play NCAA Division I basketball in the States. And she made a phone call on my behalf. She called Tanya Have, an American player who was playing professionally in France at the time. Tanya was someone who had given everything to this game. An All-American at Tennessee under Pat Summitt, the all-time leading scorer of the Lady Vols, 14 years as a professional across Europe. She spoke French, she understood both words, and she passed my name forward. Tanya brought my name to Seal Berry, as you know, and then opened the door I would never have found on my own. Seal, I don't have the words to fully thank you. You believed in me, you pushed me, you showed me what it meant to compete at the highest level every single day. You shaped me as a player and as a person. I am so grateful you came into my life. And Renee Brown. When Renee called my name with the second pick in 1997, she sent a message to the world that a French woman belonged in the WNBA league. She saw something in me that I was still learning to see in myself. Her guidance and her friendship have meant more to me than I can say. Thank you, Renee. None of them had to do what they did. They chose to. And because of them, my life took a path I could never have drawn on my own. The rest was work, a lot of work, every mornings, long seasons, moments of doubt that I have to learn to get through. I won't pretend it was always easy, but I always believed that if you stay disciplined, if you stay humble, and if you keep showing up, something good will come. That is what this game taught me. And through all of it, I had my friends and family. Katia, we were teammates with the national team, and the friendship we built has lasted all these years, ever since our 20s. You are strong in every way, always enthusiastic, incredibly generous. And today, you are also taking care of my public relations with so much talent and energy, which honestly might just be your toughest job yet. David and Florence, you are part of that close circle of friends who have walked with me through this Hall of Fame journey. With you, we share the good times in life, and we lift each other up in the difficult ones. You are among those beautiful souls who bring light into our lives, just like Leila, Cathy, Fabienne, Lizou, and their husbands. Eric, mon chéri, you came into my life after basketball, and that tells me everything about what we have. You didn't choose the player, you chose the person. You have been my rock, my calm, my home. This belongs to you too. You may not have understood this part, so let me put it simply. Merci Eric, du fond du cœur. And Alicia. And Alicia, my daughter, ma petite chérie. You're writing your own story now at the University of South Carolina with Coach Don Staley. watching you carry that same love for the game, then that same fire, just knowing you are out there doing what you like, what you love, that is everything to me. I am standing here today because all of you, my teammates at CU, represented by Shelly Sheets and Regan Scott, my teammates at Cleveland, and my teammates of the French national teams, club teams in France and Italy. This game gave me so much. It gave me love and resilience, and most of all, it gave me people. People who believed in me, who passed my name forward, who opened doors and held them open. I am so grateful for all of it. Merci pour tout.
Isabelle, congratulations. Candace Parker. One of the most accomplished and influential players in the history of women's basketball, leaving an indelible mark on the game at every level. At the University of Tennessee, Parker led the Lady Vols to back-to-back NCAA national championships in 2007 and 2008, earning NCAA tournament Most Outstanding Player honors both years. She was a two-time Wooden Award winner, the 2007 Wade Trophy recipient, the 2008 Associated Press Player of the Year, a two-time SEC Player of the Year, and a two-time Consensus First Team All-American. Selected first overall in the 2008 WNBA draft, Parker immediately made history by becoming the only player to win WNBA Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player in the same season. She went on to earn 2 WNBA MVP awards, a WNBA Defensive Player of the Year honor, 7 WNBA All-Star selections, 7 All-WNBA First Team selections, and 3 WNBA championships with 3 different teams. On the international stage, Parker represented the United States with distinction, winning Olympic gold medals in 2008 and 2012. Her impact on the game extended beyond the court. As a member of the WNBA's 20th and 25th anniversary teams, and as a trailblazing leader in the sport's future. Today, she continues to shape the next generation of athletes as the first ever president of women's basketball for Adidas. Candace Parker's legacy is defined not only by championships and accolades, but by her leadership, influence, and commitment to elevating women's basketball around the world. And now, to present Candace Parker, please welcome to the stage WNBA Hall of Fame Class of 2018 inductee, Shamiqua Holsclaw.
Let me put these glasses on because I can't see up close. I'm walking a little gingerly tonight. I had a knee replacement, was it 10 weeks ago? Got a new knee. Yeah, feeling real good right now. But before I get started with the remarks that I prepared, I just want to say something. I'm a New Yorker, right? So we have a saying, and Candace was trying to read my notes because something came into my head real quick tonight. And I'm a New Yorker, so we have a saying, we say word is bond, right? And when I came to the University of Tennessee, Coach Summit also taught me how to be impeccable to my word, you know? So it was a time, 2004, I'm at the women's Final Four, Tennessee's at the Final Four, and I get a call from the radio station, hey, you know, we want to do an interview with you and Candace Parker. So I was excited. They were like, CP, I call her CP, sorry y'all. CP is a big fan of the game, and you know, she's coming to Tennessee, she's really looking forward to this. So I talked to Candace for a brief second. I'll be there, I told her, right? And you know, I'm in New Orleans. I had a teammate that played at LSU, Aisha Smith, who said, hey, come down and work out, right? And I was excited. I went the day before. I worked out with her with this guy named Coach Simone Augustus, you know. But what I never told Candace was, after that workout, I had met Simone Augustus the year before when Sports Illustrated hit me, a couple years before, Sports Illustrated hit me up, and Simone Augustus came to Tennessee, and they said, hey, we want to do a cover story with you and this young lady, Simone Augustus. So I had the opportunity to meet her family, meet her dad, Seymour, and so here I am at LSU. I'm gonna go to Simone's house, right? Her dad invited me over. Man, her family cooked me so much food. I had a ride going back, so I worked out, had good food, and I had a hurricane and could not wake up the next day. So Candace, that is why I did not make it to that interview with you. I'm sorry, blame Simone's dad. But anyway, I am truly honored to be here tonight to welcome my little big sis, Candace Parker, into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. I've known about Candace for a long time, and I remember Coach Summit telling me many years ago, I found the next game changer. And let me tell you something, Coach wasn't lying. She wasn't lying. What we witnessed over the years is somebody who has continued to knock down every bar placed in front of her, every expectation, every limitation, every stereotype about what women's basketball could be. Come on, y'all, come on. Listen, Candace just didn't meet the moment, she expanded it. She changed the way the game looks, the way the game is played, the way people talked about women's basketball. Her skill set was ahead of her time, a player with the size of a post. I can't move too much because my knee, I'm gonna get this. I'm feeling my basketball, talking about it, I'm feeling that basketball jitter right now. The mind of a point guard, the footwork that honestly had defenders confused out there. I know this personally. I'm about to take y'all through a story, embarrass myself. I remember my last year in the league. Me and Candace was catching up before the game. We're just talking and laughing. She was with the LA Sparks. I was with the San Antonio Silver Stars. And then the game starts. And at one point, I got switched off onto Candace. She caught the ball mid-post. Now, in my mind, y'all, I'm thinking, I got this figured out. I was a big guard, so I thought if I crowd her a little bit, back off, change the look, even make her overthink something, maybe force a turnover. Man, Candace caught the ball, looked at me, and the next thing I knew, she scored. The funny part, I honestly didn't know how she scored. I had to go back, watch film, because she hit me with footwork we really hadn't seen in the women's game yet. And that was the moment I realized that the game had changed. That was Candace. She brought creativity, skill, and versatility that pushed the entire sport forward. But what makes me the most proud isn't just the basketball, it's the woman she's become. See, I've watched Candace become an incredible mother to her 3 beautiful children, while championing other women every single step of the way. She has used her voice with purpose. She has led in an authentic way. She has shown young girls they can be powerful, successful, outspoken, loving, vulnerable, and unapologetically themselves all at the same damn time. Listen. And she's done this, all y'all, with grace, hard work, and understanding the responsibility that's come with influence. Candace, sincerely, thank you for changing the game. Thank you for inspiring generations. Thank you for showing all of us how it looks like to evolve, to lead and remain true to yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2026 inductee, CP Candace Parker. Thank you.
Shamika Holzclaw, you changed the game. You're the best Lady Vol that has ever worn orange. You inspired an entire generation. For the first time, you made me want to wear orange. Like when I saw you stop on a dime and pull up for a jump shot, the way you moved. And then it's crazy because like your shimmy, your bravado, your New York style of basketball, like made me want to play basketball and made me want to wear orange. I remember the first time I saw you on the cover of Slam, right? That was the first woman that was on the cover of Slam. And immediately I put that on my wall and I saw what was possible. A signature shoe, an Olympian, a 3-time national champion, your jersey in the rafters, and leading the nation in attendance. And it inspired a little girl from Naperville to want to wear orange. So I'm really grateful for you for this intro. And I'm so glad that you're getting your flowers because it's long overdue, right? Long overdue. And you are one of the greatest ever, and it's an honor to join you in the Hall of Fame, in the Women's Hall of Fame here in Knoxville. And it'll be amazing. I know Pat's smiling down that we're gonna walk in together in the class of 2026 in the Naismith Hall of Fame. So to the Board of Trustees, thank you for this moment. To the pioneers and legends who paved the way to my fellow members of the class of 2026, what an honor it is to walk into this room beside you. In the words of Voltaire, I'm gonna get deep on y'all for a second, all right? Originality is nothing but judicious imitation. Nobody actually becomes or creates in a vacuum, right? Every great athlete, musician, business person, or artist, they have influences. Some have come before them and opened the doors that they walk through, and some are experiencing life simultaneously. And it's not blind copying, it's discerning imitation. You study your influences closely enough to know what it takes and what you want to take from that. And that selectivity is where your own voice actually emerges. I was lucky enough to grow up down the hall from some pretty amazing role models. My 2 older brothers, Anthony and Marcus, who are here, they are 8 and 11 years older than me. I wanted to imitate and do and be everything that they were. I wanted to be just like them. And I had parents that emphasized I could do and be anything that I wanted to be. I really believed it too. My childhood really revolved around sports. It was basketball gyms, following my brothers to parks, riding bikes, and even one time during a tennis match, I was pretty young, My brothers got hot, they removed their shirts, right? My parents told me I could do and be anything that my brothers were. So my brothers were like, yo, Ken, you're a girl. You can't do that. But stubborn me, through that, I was like, I'm gonna be the same. I'm gonna be the same, right? So I start to remove my shirt, I kick and scream, whatever. My dad finally relented. And the boys rolled their eyes as I ran shirtless with my braids flopping down my back. And it was that day that my brothers extended my nickname from Can to Can Do Anything and Get Away with It. I picked amazing role models. Anthony Parker, 10-year vet in the NBA, now a GM for the Orlando Magic. Marcus, a lot of people are like, what happened to you? No, he just went to Johns Hopkins and became a doctor. The finished product that you see here today, I was along for the journey. I was the little sister that saw the sacrifice, saw the work, saw the character, and I also saw the unwavering support of our family and what it demonstrated and how to show up for one another. But let's be real, it started with my parents. It started with my grandparents. It started with our ancestors. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. We are. Our parents demonstrated an unwavering dedication to help us first dare to dream, to hold ourselves accountable, to learn what hard work really means, and to be humble, and to know that when we stumble, we actually have each other. Most nights we gather around our dinner table. That was my favorite thing. And we shared laughs, we cracked jokes, and through that all, we looked back and we learned about each other. My voice actually mattered at the dinner table. My mom was the first one that saw that I struggled with the gigantic shadow that my brothers cast. I wanted to be who they were now. And I was 8 and 11 years younger than them. I didn't care that I was younger. I wasn't patient. I wasn't wanting and willing to wait. I wanted to level up, measure myself alongside them. And at times, the pressure would bring tears to my eyes. She would see it and she would whisper, can do, right? It would remind me to push doubt away, that if I couldn't do it now, I just had to keep working for it and keep building. And if something didn't work out, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't work out. It just means that I needed to work for it more. Whenever I was doing something that frightened me, I would whisper it to myself. I still do. And it reminds me that that little girl who dared to dream, who dared to try, who dared to do anything. I whispered it before the state championship game in 2003 in Naperville, Illinois. I whispered it as I laid in bed after I tore my ACL, crying, wondering if I would ever play basketball again. My son, hey baby. You've heard him throughout the night. I whispered it when I won the McDonald's All-American Dunk Contest. I whispered it when I committed to the University of Tennessee on ESPN. I whispered it when I played in the Final Four in 2007, 2008. I whispered it when I first tried out for the USA women's basketball team, 2008 women's WNBA draft. I whispered it before my first game in the WNBA for the LA Sparks. I whispered can do when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, and I wanted so badly to be a great mother and a great athlete. I whispered it as I boarded a plane with a 6-month-old to Ekaterinburg, Russia. I whispered it when I got cut from the 2016 Olympic team. I whispered it when I decided to go back home and play for the Chicago Sky. I whispered can do when I decided to press send on that Instagram post that ended my basketball career that I was obsessed with. And I whispered it through every up and down, every fork in the road, every obstacle, and that mindset never faded. And I'm grateful for my mom for being present with every step of the way, wiping my tears as I battled through injuries, celebrating me when I won titles in foreign countries that nobody saw. I'm grateful for your presence through it all and unwavering confidence in me from the start. So thank you, Mom, for all of that. You know, my dad, he always knew how to push my buttons, okay? He was my first coach ever since I was a little girl, and he always would try to raise the bar. And not just in between the lines, in school as well. He decided that he wanted me to try to be my best and judge that as my standard, excuse me. He knew I liked the hard path, and he knew that I loved the untraveled, difficult road. The never before road, right, as you call it. He challenged me to do push-ups during commercials, to brush my teeth with my off hand to get better at my left hand. And he put the ball in my hand as the tallest player on my YBA team and made me run point guard. He fed my curiosity with questions that, you know, made me think, why, but also why not? And at times, my mom would have to play referee because the father-daughter would the coach-player would boil over to father-daughter. But my dad didn't argue. He just would teach me a lesson to figure it out. Like when he encouraged me to work harder at a basketball workout, and my brothers are probably nodding at this, it didn't really work that hard at the basketball workout we were at, and he just looked at his watch, got in his car, and was like, you have 15 minutes to get home. So I was running behind the car trying to catch up as I was running to get home in those 15 minutes. But I grew up and I was glad that I saw that if you work hard for what you want, you can achieve your goals. And little did I know, I had that special vantage point. The mom, the dad, the mom that encouraged, the dad that really pushed, and the brothers that reached those goals right in front of me. And that is why I'm successful. From teachers to teammates to coaches to mentors to opponents, I gravitated towards individuals that set high standards, overcame challenges, and did things the unconventional way. Their journeys may all be different, but their mentality shared a commonality and surely rubbed off on me. In many ways, Allen Iverson, that's the reason why I wear number 3. His underside dominance of the league inspired me. Cynthia Cooper being 34, winning 4 WNBA championships. Okay, shout out to Amaya. WNBA was a huge pivotal moment in my career, seeing women that look like me playing as fierce and competitive and unapologetic. You look at Brandi Chastain in 1999, taking off her jersey, unladylike, right? That's what they said at the time. She took it off and waved it around. That inspired me. The Bulls three-peat, of course, who didn't? Joan Cronin, being a female athletic director of a female athletic department that was separate from the men. That inspired me. Michelle Snow, dunking, pulling her legs up. Working moms, balancing both. Steph Curry, changing the game entirely. There's people and moments that are forever etched in my mind, and that have changed the way that I look at basketball and look at life in every way. Some known, some unknowingly have aided in my creativity and my belief, and I'm standing on your shoulders. You are why I'm here. 10 knee surgeries, 1 shoulder labrum surgery, 2 foot surgeries that ultimately made me walk away from the game. And I desperately am so grateful in some ways. I'm proud that despite of all of that, I never believed my wildest dreams weren't possible. And just a little bit of extra work was required. And going through injuries truly makes you understand the power of passion, being built different, and endurance. And my love and passion for basketball followed me and carried me in ways I'll never understand. Whatever jersey I wore, Lincoln Lancer, Illinois Jaguar, Naperville Central, Tennessee, LA Sparks, USA Basketball, UMMC Ekaterinburg, Guangdong, China, Fenerbahce, Rumchi, China, Chicago Sky, Las Vegas Aces, winning was always the mission. But I learned very quickly it's the relationships and who you become in the process. One of the best decisions I ever made was signing to come here to the University of Tennessee. Listen, it wasn't perfect. I did want to quit at times. And it started off rocky. I had to redshirt my freshman year because of a knee injury. But nonetheless, I'm who I am because of my experience here at Tennessee and because of the city of Knoxville's unwavering support. To my favorite professor, Bob Guess, to the many managers, Adam Waller, Buffy, Bennett, Justine, who have become some of my best friends, my classmates, my roommate, Crystal Hargrove, Alexis Hornbuckle, my teammates, Alex Simmons, Chris Lofton, Mickey Dearstone, Maria Cornelius, staff like Heather Mason, Jenny Moshak, my Dr. Yeoman that saved my career, Debbie Jennings, Donna Thomas, Danielle Donahue, and assistant coaches, Dean, Nikki, and Holly. Thank you for making this the best experience, the best 4 years of my life. You know, life is full circle, and now I have the honor and the privilege of raising my own family and creating my own circles. Thank you to my best friends, Eric, my agent, Zach, Mickey, Boris, Sam, Lena, and Team Parker, who allow me to succeed in the boardroom and broadcasting. No one prepares you for when the student becomes the teacher, right? And now I get to balance and borrow from my upbringing, while simultaneously creating my own family traditions, doing, demonstrating, and showing up for the people that I love. Hoping to be the one they look up to, not in terms of the Hall of Fame or gold medals or championships, but honestly the character that it takes to dare to dream in the first place, and then to work to back it up. To the next generation of Parkers, right? My nieces, my nephews, thank you for always supporting your TT. To my daughter, Layla Nicole, who is absolutely my reason and has been along for most of my basketball journey. Thank you. You were in my belly for the 2008 Olympic gold medal game. And later, we won WNBA and Rookie of the Year together. You motivated me in ways you have no idea. And through traveling the world together, I knew you were always watching. And because of that, I always try to show up as my best self for you. Now you're chasing your dreams, forging your own path, and I see some of me in your mannerisms, actions, and choices. But what makes me most proud is you are making parts of me your own. Keep being a positive example for your brothers, because now they're watching their big sister. To my wife and my 2 sons, thank you to Anya, to Air, and to Heart Summit for the joy you bring on the daily. Anya, we met abroad, and you moved to the States from your home. I'm grateful for your sacrifice and patience and voice of reason you give me through my entire career and now. Having your support and love means the absolute world to me. I have to brag that my kids get to have 2 Olympians as moms. We're long retired, but unfortunately our boys only get to witness our shootouts in the backyard and our competitive nature at the Domino's table. But they also get to witness the safety, the support, the love, and I hope that they know that the expectations and standards that come with being a Parker, but that we're also always here to help you chase your wildest dreams. In the words of James Baldwin, children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them. So this suit may look familiar to some. I actually had a wardrobe malfunction before and I was freaking out, but shout out to Mickey for sewing it back together. This suit is a rendition of one of my favorite looks that Coach Pat Summitt wore on the sideline. You know, I cut the shoulder pads off and I kind of made it my own a little bit, right? But nevertheless, a tangible representation and a nod to her. Her influence on my life, her lessons I've made my own, tailored it, if you may, and applied it to my journey, kind of like this suit. And since she would be the first to tell you that I was not the best listener while I played at the University of Tennessee, this is a tangible expression that I was watching. And I was indeed paying attention, even if I like to test boundaries a little bit, and I'm stubborn and hard-headed. Okay, Joan Cronin, stop nodding. But my continued desire to imitate Pat and how she attacked life every day proves why there is nobody like her. There are no amount of words or stories that can express the impact that she's had on my life. I saw it all. She did what she said she would do, even when the moment and the feeling passed, and the motivation passed. Pat was one of one, a giant of all giants, and though gone 10 years tomorrow, she's still leaving a lasting impact that we all can and should draw from. The state of women's basketball today is actually because of Pat Summitt and her vision. So I stand here, a Hall of Famer, today, taking from so many and carving this path that led here. They made the journey even possible. I am because of them. And after all, right? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, Candace. At this time, I'd like to invite all the inductees up stage. We're going to take a group photo. And while they're making their way up here, I want to thank all of you for being here to help us celebrate this incredible class of 2026. What a memorable night for all of us. What an incredible group of inductees. This class is exceptional. And we are really pleased that you were able to celebrate with us. You want to hold the trophy, Elena? You can hold it. Thank you all for coming. Please depart safely. Thank you for celebrating. We look forward to seeing you next year. And if you feel like it, check out that QR code and support the hall. We could really use the help. Good night, everyone, and thank you very much.